Well, talk about an ugly, hard-fought win for the Los Angeles Lakers, who pulled out a 110-101 victory over the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans came into this game winning 4 of their last 6, so they weren't some weak team. And honestly, it took everything the Lakers had to survive. On top of that, they were clearly their own worst enemy, committing 21 turnovers, with 17 coming from LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves. Luka had 7, while LeBron and Reeves had 5 each. That's 17 turnovers between your 3 main players, which is simply careless basketball. It definitely didn't help. To make it worse, they shot just 29% from three-point range, so they were sloppy with the ball and inefficient from deep. Add in the constant fouls from both sides, and it turned into a messy, frustrating game to watch. Still, ugly or not, the Lakers will gladly take the win. However, one part of this game was not ugly at all. One bright spot for the Lakers' offense was Luke Kennard. Even though the team struggled from the field, that wasn't the case for Kennard. Coming off the bench, he provided a clear spark and showed the kind of efficiency and confidence that the starters seriously lacked. As usual, he knocked down his three-point shots. Unfortunately, he only took 5 shots tonight. It honestly makes no sense because he usually takes 2 or 3 in the first quarter and then barely shoots the rest of the game, and that's exactly what happened again. In limited chances, he still went 3 of 5 from the field and 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, finishing with a team-high +16. It genuinely felt like whenever Luke Kennard was on the floor, the offense actually functioned. The only other time it worked was late in the fourth quarter when the Lakers finally woke up and found some rhythm, mostly through Austin Reeves, who had 0 points at halftime and took forever to get going. Outside of that late push, Kennard was basically their only reliable and efficient offensive option all night. And this is starting to become a pattern for this team. Honestly, he might single-handedly be trying to break the Lakers' long-running role-player three-point shooting curse. Knock on wood, but Kennard has been one of the few players actually doing his job consistently. He's still holding that 50% mark from 3 and is even leading the entire NBA in three-point percentage. He's been outstanding, and the Lakers badly need it. This is what a real off-ball shooting threat looks like. Not just someone who stands in the corner and waits. People used to hype up Rui Hachimura and his three-point percentage earlier in the season, but lately it has fallen off. The difference is simple. Rui Hachimura is mostly a stationary shooter, while Luke Kennard actually moves without the ball. He runs off screens, creates space for himself, and can even set up teammates. That's something this offense clearly lacked before they traded for him. So credit where it's due with Kennard. And honestly, between Luke Kennard and Marcus Smart, the Lakers probably don't win this game without them. Kennard gave them efficient scoring off the bench, and Smart brought tough defense and energy, even if he forced a few questionable shots during the game. Even with a few bad shots, his defense more than made up for it. He grabbed 4 steals tonight after getting 5 in the last game, giving him 9 over the past 2 and 12 in his last 3. He's clearly putting in real work on defense, taking the toughest assignments, forcing turnovers, and giving the team energy when they start to look flat. Marcus Smart played a huge role tonight, and honestly, they probably lose without him. He was one of the only players who stayed locked in defensively from start to finish. With Jared Vanderbilt now out of the rotation and getting DNPs, Smart might be the last reliable defensive piece they have left in that lineup. It's basically him and Jake LaRavia, and that's about it. That stood out all night. What Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard brought wasn't about star power from Luka Doncic, LeBron James, or Austin Reeves. This was a game won by the supporting cast. And yes, it was ugly, a very ugly win. It was an ugly win for them, but they will take it anyway. And honestly, playing like that is not always a bad thing. Of course, you do not want to make it a habit. You cannot keep shooting 29% from 3 or turning the ball over 20+ times. But if you are struggling offensively, especially with someone like Austin Reeves having a rough shooting night, and you still make up for it with effort plays like 2 steals and 2 blocks, which he had, that matters. LeBron James added a couple of blocks, and Luka Doncic even had a key block late in the game. If they can make up for bad shooting by defending hard and grinding out wins, that shows toughness. Just do not rely on it every night. Still, showing defensive effort and proving you can win ugly is actually an important quality for a serious team. So no, this was not their best performance, but it is not something to completely dismiss either. With that said, now let's hear from the team about their win.
Indicative sort of the way you guys defended as a team, and how much did Smart lead that?
Yeah, big emphasis for us pregame and on the film was just our physicality. You have to match Zion's physicality, you have to match Sadiq Bey's physicality. Like they have big players, and I thought Smart was incredible tonight. Him and Jackson in the second half, when we got him back in the game defensively as well, really just they helped us win the game. They changed the game, and frankly, that's not a win we've had since probably November. Where we're down. A lot of those early wins when we started 15-4, we had a number of double-digit deficits in the second half and just stuck with it and kept playing. And it was a good win for our group to be able to do that again.
JJ, kind of on that point, you said you haven't had a win like this since November. Does it feel like in some ways the group is starting to find the cohesion that you've been searching for, honestly, since then?
We're a work in progress, and I would just say that, but I'm confident that we'll eventually get to a good space.
JJ, along those lines a little bit, you mentioned Marcus and Jackson.
Did you start
along those lines
with a question with the same starter along those lines, back to back?
I'm distracted by Mike's suit.
It's the Cobalt.
Okay, let me regroup. You guys, there were a number of players that felt like maybe, I think of Austin had a pretty bad offensive game, but he had a couple steals and blocks late. DeAndre, some really big baskets early in the third quarter. Just in terms of number of people who you could kind of feel like this person touched this win in a way, how completist was this?
Right. It wasn't the prettiest game. Some of that was the turnovers. Some of that was, I think we had a couple stretches there where we were able to generate some corner threes, really good catch and shoot threes that didn't go down. And so the offense didn't flow as well. On top of that, they ran, 5 or 6 different coverages against us. So it created there was a little bit of a choppiness to the game, just in terms of finding the advantage. Unfortunately, as a coach, you don't always know what coverage they're going to be in. We had some success in 77, and then they changed the coverage. We went away from that. And then, frankly, we were targeting Zion, but he played. I've seen him do it before, and he had a tremendous defensive game, and I think that led to us getting stalled out a little bit when they were in that switching group, which gave us some trouble. But again, the plays that you just got to make to win. You referenced a number of the hand activity plays, the physicality plays, loose balls, Smart hitting that big three. I thought the play as we were kind of getting back into the game down 8, where we got a good look from Luke in the corner in transition. Jackson and Smart both crashed. We end up with the ball. AR gets the 3. Those were the type of plays we had to make to win tonight. And then felt good, down the stretch. Just kind of, they didn't have any size at the rim, and we posted Luka. He scored in the post. He got fouled in the post. Then he makes the huge 3 and just kind of closed the game out for us.
Y'all had 10 turnovers in the third quarter. What caused that chaos in that quarter, and how did you like fixing it in the fourth quarter when I don't think y'all had a single turnover until the last possession?
Yeah. Typically with our turnovers, it's like a multitude. They typically come in waves, and so it's errant passes, and it's not making the simple pass. It's and that's felt like the case tonight in that third quarter.
You told us, I don't know, that long ago that you're kind of our end game situation is going to be 3 guys, and the other 2 guys could kind of change depending on circumstances. Marcus has found himself in that group as one of the other 2 guys on many occasions. Tonight hit maybe the ceiling 3. What's he done over the course of these 60 games to warrant that trust to be one of those guys?
Yeah. When You guys like to talk about roles, guys' roles, and like dividing players amongst roles. Like a star player, their role is to be the star, and their role is to whatever way they star is to be a star. Smart, I think, has starred in his role for what we need from him consistently throughout the year. He's, I think, played great basketball for the last 5-6 weeks, and that starts at the defensive end. I mean,
We started off the first couple months this season talking about needing the defense to be 5 guys on this team. Have you guys made strides in that department?
Oh, have we?
I mean, I think
so.
in terms of team defense.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we've made some strides defensively. I think we didn't play much at all zone tonight. We started the game off with it. We kind of went away from him, so I thought our man-to-man defense was pretty good. I thought Jackson and Marcus was great on that end, and then everybody else kind of trickled in as well.
What do you look at when you analyze what lineup combinations work? Is it games? Is it minutes? Or is you just leave numbers out of it and you just go by feel for it?
No, if I'm on the court, I just play with whoever's on the floor with us. I don't analyze, lineups, things of that nature. It's my job to, no matter who I'm on the floor with, to try to make happen, make plays. So it's always been the case.
What was the biggest thing you think sparked you guys on that 14-0 run after you guys went down 8 midway through the fourth when JJ took that time out?
We got stops. We defended at a high level. Like you said, we had 7 blocks on the fourth, we said. So, it's big time for us, and we was able to get out and get some early transition points as well.
The record is what it is, but there's a lot of athletes on the court tonight, a lot of physicality on the court tonight, and you guys haven't always performed well against teams that have that. Do you take anything out of the fact that you guys were able to meet their physicality with physicality, that you guys were able to compete with them athletically for pretty consistently?
Well, we knew we wasn't playing against their record tonight. It's the first time they've been whole in quite a while, and we know when they've been whole what type of team they've been. So we came in with that mindset, understanding the type of team that we was playing. I think they won their last 4 out of 5 before tonight or something like that. But we didn't come in with the notion that we were playing against their record. We came in with the notion that we were playing a very athletic, team that's been playing exceptional basketball lately.
And things that we need, and when they play good, we tend to play good as a team, and the energy is contagious, and everybody kind of rolls with it. What do you feel like is minutes-wise a good sample size for how you kind of start assessing like what works in a lineup over the course of the season, both individually and when we talk about those 3-man, 5-man lineup combos?
That's not for me to tell. Coaches will do all that, and we'll just, whatever they put on the court, we'll play.
Even though they have I think they won 19 games, but they play hard.
Oh, yeah.
Coming in knowing that you guys know this would not be an easy game because of the way they play and the talent that they have.
Yeah, I mean, Zion, when he's healthy, he's a all-star. They got a bunch of guys that can play, so they're scrappy. They defend. I believe they got what it takes to make a good team. They just got to be healthy. That's just been their Achilles heel for the last 2 years. I believe they haven't been able to stay healthy. So I think that they got a lot of really good pieces.
Obviously, Zion's not just a one-on-one coverage. From an overall team defensive concept, what's required on a guy like him?
Don't be scared to get out of the way.
You did that in the first half.
1,000,000%. Dude, I was terrified. Yeah, there was no way in hell I was taking charge. He was running too fast, so that's not a bad word. No, it's not. No, it's not. But once again, I was terrified, so I just kind of slid out the way and let him have a layup.